Hey, what's up, everyone? It's Mason Tepesky here for today's episode of the podcast. We're going to recap the weekend for you and just discuss all the events and stuff that went on this weekend and the teams. Obviously, we touched on the Steelers yesterday. There was a video on that. So the Steelers won. That was a great effort and a great win. Penguins, they play their first preseason game 2 weeks from tonight, so that'll be interesting. I'll have to check it out. Pirates took 2 out of 3 from the Nationals. They did better than I expected them to this weekend in taking that. I only expected them to take 1 out of 3, so it's fortunate that they took 2 out of 3, and I'm happy about that. So the team still has room for improvement, but this is an important series win. The team, though, failed to get the sweep once again, which is unfortunate, but it happens, so we'll see what happens if they can manage to get a sweep this year. I doubt they manage to get a sweep this year. Their best attempt is in Miami this upcoming weekend, but that's even going to be a little hard. But remember, too, they have the Cubs at the end of the month, so that might be a chance also. Moving on, though, now to college football, and this was a good weekend for our locals in college football. Pitt beat Tennessee. That was a good win. I didn't expect that, but I'm glad Pitt was able to win. That brings the Panthers to 2-0 now. They move on to play Western Michigan here at Heinz Field in Pittsburgh on... Sorry, I'm just typing and looking up stats and stuff. But they play Western Michigan Saturday at noon at Heinz Field. The team will look to go 3-0. Penn State was able to beat Ball State pretty big, as expected. That moves them to 2-0 and keeps them in serious consideration for the playoff, especially after Oregon beat Ohio State, which was a very good game, and Oregon played their hearts out. That team's going to be good. That team's going to be consistent, and they will be right in the mix for a playoff spot yet again. Penn State plays Auburn on ABC at 7:30 p.m. in Beaver Stadium. West Virginia beat Long Island University pretty big. I think the score was like 66 or 70 to nothing there. They won big. They're now 1-1 heading into their game on Saturday, where they will play Virginia Tech at noon in Morgantown. But they're coming off a 66 to nothing win over Long Island University, and they'll look to continue that winning streak with a little bit of a tougher opponent, though, in Virginia Tech. Though, that's not until next Saturday at noon on Fox Sports 1, I think. Yeah, FS1, that game will be on. Robert Morris lost 45 to nothing. That's unfortunate. They got beat by Central Michigan at home. In Michigan. I'm sorry. That game was in Michigan, so that was unfortunate, but kind of expected. And now let's touch a little bit on the big upset of the week. Duquesne beating Ohio. That was a great win by Duquesne. 28 to 26. I'm glad Duquesne won. I really like them, and I was so happy about that. So that's a big upset. That's a great win, and they needed that win, and that will propel them going into the regular season. Their next game and Robert Morris's next game is not until September 25th. Robert Morris plays host to Howard that day, and Duquesne plays host to Virginia at Lynchburg that day. VA Lynchburg that day. At Duquesne. So those should be interesting. We had a very interesting college football weekend. I'll touch on that, then I'll talk a little bit too about the MLB as soon as I'm done with college football. But we had a very good college football weekend. As I said, Oregon with a major stunner. Notre Dame barely beat Toledo. Texas A&M barely beat Colorado in kind of surprisers for those schools. Iowa beat Iowa State in a statement win, which was kind of what I expected to happen. So that's good, though. I was cheering for Iowa, and I'm glad Iowa was able to win that game. So that's a positive thing. And Arkansas with a stunner over Texas. So that's good. Arkansas was able to stun Texas, which kind of makes me happy. Miami beat Appalachian State barely. BYU pulled off an upset against Utah. And Stanford beat USC at USC's home stadium, which is the Los Angeles Memorial Coliseum, which was what I thought it was. So yeah, and Clay Helton, the coach of USC, was actually fired today. But yeah, good weekend in college football for the most part. And right now, the top 25 are number 1, Alabama, number 2, Georgia, number 3, Oklahoma, and number 4, Oregon. Cap off the top 4, number 5, Iowa, and number 6, Clemson, are just on the outside. Penn State is number 10 right now, slightly behind Ohio State, who is 9th. Pitt managed to get 13 votes this week for the top 25, which was nice. And in terms of the MLB, the wild card race continues to heat up every day with less than 3 weeks to go now. The Yankees, Blue Jays, and Red Sox are all in it in the AL. The Mariners and Athletics still have time to make noise, but not much. In the NL, it's pretty much a done deal. The Dodgers or the Giants will host either the Padres or the Reds. Those two are really fighting for it. I don't know who's going to pull that one out in the end. I'm kind of feeling the Reds just because of the schedule, but don't count San Diego out. And don't count St. Louis out either, because they're only a game back. The Phillies are 2.5 back, and the Mets are 3. That pretty much rounds it out, and that's going to round us out. I'll see you likely Thursday night. However, that could potentially be Friday, but we'll see what happens. Take care, enjoy, and have a good couple days. And as always, God bless.